In the Middle East, the war is definitely not over in Syria, and Bashar al-Assad still has his loyalists fighting the Islamists. Fighting has erupted at Syria's Banias gas power plant just hours after country's interim president Ahmed al-Shara urged for peace amid escalating communal violence that has killed hundreds of civilians in the coastal area. Syria's state-run news agency Sana reported on Sunday that fighting broke out with security forces at the plant after an attack by remnants of the former regime. The Syrian security forces have allegedly killed hundreds of civilians from the Alawite religious minority. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, which monitors fighting in Syria, said 745 civilians in 30 massacres targeting Alawites in the coastal region. The death toll of escalating violence is believed to be the worst since the fall of Assad regime. Speaking from a mosque in Damascus, the interim president said, "What is currently happening in Syria is within the expected challenges."
We used to pray at this mosque amid fear. We left this mosque and went on a long journey. Then we returned again to see these kind faces. Thank God we returned in dignity and you stayed in this country with your heads up. Thank God. I hope that you are reassured that this country contains strength and dignity. What is happening in the country is a challenge and is expected. We must maintain national unity and civil peace in the country as much as we can. We are able to live together in this country as long as the revolution erupted out of these mosques that taught their sons good morals, courage, generosity and justice. There is no fear in Syria.
Bashar al-Assad was overthrown last December after decades of repressive rule by his family and a 14 years long civil war. The number of fighters killed in the past 4 days brings the death toll to a more than 1,000 people, says the Syrian Observatory. This includes about 125 fighters linked to the new Islamist-led government and 148 pro-Assad fighters. The violence of recent days was sparked after an ambush on government forces in the coastal region. The Syrian Defense Ministry spokesman described it as a treacherous attack against its security personnel, according to a report by Sana state news agency. It has since escalated into a wave of clashes between Assad loyalists and government forces. Amidst the fighting, hundreds of civilians have reportedly fled their homes in coastal provinces of Latakia and Tartus, which were heartlands of deposed President Bashar al-Assad, who also belongs to the Alawite minority. Alawites, whose sect is an offshoot of Shia Islam, makes up around 10% of Syria's population, which is majority Sunni Muslim. The violence has left the Alawite community in a state of horror. Large crowds sought refuge at a Russian military base at Hememim in Latakia, according to the Reuters news agency. Video footage shared by Reuters showed dozens of people chanting "People want Russian protection" outside the base. Meanwhile, local media reported dozens of families had also fled to neighboring Lebanon. The United Nations Special Envoy for Syria, Geir Pedersen, said he was deeply alarmed by very troubling reports of civilian casualties in Syria's coastal areas. He called on all sides to refrain from action which could destabilize the country and jeopardize a credible, inclusive political transition.